Whether you have fine, medium, or thick hair, Way has got you. Take the Way's hair quiz and find out exactly your hair type. I learned that my hair is dry, and that is why I love their hair mask. This is just really helps restore the hydration and also fights the frizz, which I suffer from, and really strengthens my strands. Wash your way to healthy hair and get a hair routine that's made just for you. By Way. Go to TheWay, TheOuai.com, and use promo code JUICY for 15% off any product. That's TheWay, TheOuai.com, code JUICY. Here's to my parents. We are in full mode now. School is back. We've got to do meal planning, grocery shopping, and cooking. It can be such a huge hassle. Hungry Root, however, makes it possible to spend less time doing all of that. Each order is fully customizable, so you can take their suggestions or choose anything you want. They've got fresh produce, high-quality meat, seafood, healthy snacks, smoothies, sweets, ready-to-go meals, kids' snacks, and vitamins, supplements, so much more. Everything from Hungry Root follows a simple standard. It's got to taste good, be quick to make, and contain whole, trusted ingredients. Right now, Hungry Root is offering Juicy Scoopers with Heather McDonald 40% off your first delivery and free veggies for life. Just go to hungryroot.com/juicyscoop to get 40% off your first delivery and get your free veggies. That's hungryroot.com/juicyscoop. Don't forget to use our link so they know we sent you.
Heather McDonald has got the juiciest scoop. When you're on the road, when you're on the go, Juicy Scoop is the show to know. She talks Hollywood tales, her real life Mr. Segment serial data, and serial sister. You'll be addicted and addicted fast to the #1 tabloid real life podcast. Listen in, listen up. Woo woo. Heather McDonald, Juicy Scoop.
Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. I have the original, the favorite, former model turned comedian, father, funny man, leather jacket wearing, Chris Franjola. Yes. Welcome back to Juicy Scoop.
Thank you.
I love you.
Thank you. I like wearing this leather jacket on here, but some people have told me I dress like the guy who does all the women's noses on E. What's his name?
Terry.
Yeah.
Or Terry. He's more of a boob man, but
yeah.
Sure.
People, or whatever. People say.
I don't think so.
Okay, good. Thank you.
was saying your glasses look like the lead in The Perfect Couple on Netflix, which I've talked about. Liv Schreiber. I always say his name.
Yeah.
Schreiber, yeah. Anyway, he has a similar look to you. You guys are similar age.
Oh.
He has these clear glasses.
Okay.
And a little scruff, a little gray scruff.
Yeah. That's right.
And so, yeah, you look like a rich Nantucket guy who was having an affair.
I'm trying to toughen it up a little bit because I go clean shaven now. And I'm starting to look, at the age where I could easily slip into old lesbian.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
So now you want to have facial hair.
Yeah,
not to be mistaken.
Exactly.
Got it.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm going for. Whether it's
I'll tell you something else about white whiskers that are freaking me out.
Oh, no.
And only a small portion of my audience will understand. About 12 years ago, Caroline Manzo of Real Housewives of New Jersey said on a reunion, I have such good skin because I shaved my face.
Oh,
shook the world.
I remember this.
And then one time, Kelly Dodd said to Shannon Bedore on a trip from an Ireland bus, shave your fucking face. And everyone's like, oh my God. And women have peach fuzz, okay? Mm-hmm. And everybody always thought if you ever shaved your face, it would grow back like a Wolverine.
Yeah, that was always the urban
legend. And then
legend.
all of a sudden, there became these tools that you can shave your face. And it just takes all the dead skin off. It's super satisfying. There's no peach fuzz in a photo or anything.
Marilyn Monroe always, they said, had a hairy face.
Oh, really? Yeah.
She was known.
It's blonde. Sometimes I see it. And then once you start doing it, so I started doing it. Mm-hmm. And I can't even believe what I've missed out on, the joy. Okay. Really? And I say to my sister, come over to my house in La Quinta. The sun's just right.
Yes.
I'm ready to do it. And there is this product that's come out. Okay. Mm-hmm. That is it's called a hair identifier, and it's all over TikTok. And you spray it on your face and you look like Papa Smurf. You look like that.
It's blue?
No, it's white. So it shows up where all the little tiny hairs around your face are as a woman.
Okay.
Okay. And then you take this tiny comb and you go and just hair and it just comes off. And it's like,
Okay.
visually, it's amazing. But now when I see white scruffle like that, that's all I can think of.
Okay, well, glad to bring back pleasant memories for you.
But you were telling me these cute glasses, you felt maybe this might be the last day you could wear them because of where you purchased them from?
Yeah, well, I go to a place called America's Best Optometry. Maybe you've heard of it.
No, but it sounds like it's the best.
Well, it is for me. And they have a line, I believe it's gone, but I got these a couple months ago. These are from the Sean John collection. And I'm embarrassed to say.
Sean, Puffy, P. Diddy.
Yeah, they're from the Sean John collection.
Do you know that his final name before his latest arrest, which we're obviously getting into, I have pages and pages on it.
Yeah.
He switched it to Love. That was the last interview he had on with Ellen DeGeneres. He said, my new name is Love because it's all about love. And he has love tattooed on the side of his body.
Oh,
that's his
that one didn't catch on.
No, it didn't catch on.
Yeah.
Because they're still just, people are still saying Diddy. But he tried to rebrand for the fifth time with just Love, knowing that these accusations were coming.
Well, these are from Sean John, which is his real name.
And I don't think anybody's going to be making any more Sean John merch.
I think they actually, America's Best has discontinued the Sean John collection. Now they've moved on to, there's a Randy Jackson collection. This is not a joke. It's a cheapo. So now I have to go down to Randy Jackson. I don't think he's done anything. And then Millie Bobby Brown has decided to jump into the eyewear.
The little girl?
Yeah, the eyewear game. She's got a collection over there.
Wasn't she dating Drake when she was 12?
She married John Bon Jovi's son.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Drake was just giving her advice.
Yeah, he was
as a 30-year-old does.
He was calling her at night and stuff.
Well, what a time yesterday was. Okay, so, before we get into Chris, the world is going crazy.
People are going crazy.
That they are getting you and me together forever.
I know.
Doing stand-up, having fun at...
some of my favorite cities, by the way.
I know, because you're an East Coast cutie.
Yeah.
Okay, Ridgefield, Connecticut, October 5th, Chris and I. Boston, the Wilbur, world-famous Wilbur on Saturday the 6th. Or is that Sunday the 6th? No, that's Saturday the 6th. Boston, Wilbur. And then Minneapolis on October 13th. And then Chicago at the Vic Theater. Mm-hmm. That one's almost sold out.
Oh, very exciting. I love all those cities, especially that time of year.
Chris is going to get his outfits together. I'm getting him outfits together. I'll probably love them as I pack them and then hate them as I see a photo of me on stage. Right. I don't hate what I look like in a meet and greet photo.
Uh-huh.
I hate when someone's like, you were so funny last night. And it's just like,
oh, I know.
And it's just
people take pictures in
I was like, what? What was that outfit? Like, I thought it was good. Trust me, people, I'm waiting for the day that I'm like 100% sold. I love this outfit.
Yeah.
And it hasn't happened yet.
Well, a lot of times I feel like the last couple of cities we've gone, you've lost your suitcase or the suitcase has not made it. And then you just have to wear something that you bought at like some gift shop or something.
There's been some close calls. There's been some ones that were like, like I had this hot pink Alice and Olivia short set that I absolutely love. That is one that I love. And then I went and I bought a version of it, but it wasn't totally the same version and it's orange. And I'm putting out some clips because I like the comedy from that set, but I don't like the outfit. And I'm like, Heather, you're not a fashion model. The comedy is still good. But I know people are going to be like, what the fuck is that outfit? Some people are like, I like it. And some people are like, what is this tangerine weird thing you're wearing? And I don't know what to tell you guys.
Isn't it funny that like this is more people comment on your looks than anything else.
I know, and I'm always like, I'm not trying to be a model, you guys. Don't get so angry about it. Okay, let's P. Diddy, you guys, there is so much, and I feel like everyone must know every detail because I was consumed with it yesterday, but you may not. So he was arrested on so many charges I can't even get into. AR-15s were found. They did a bust. Drugs, 1,000 bottles of lube.
Now this is in the Miami house. What house are they finding all this?
Well, he
stuff
was
in?
arrested in New York.
Yes,
he was at Central Park just hours before, enjoying a sunny day.
I saw that. There's a video of him.
He is now being held without bail. His attorney is saying that that's ridiculous. He's such a stand-up guy. He knew this was going to happen.
Right.
And he did everything to assure that you should let him out. He paid off his mortgage. He's trying to sell his jet, but he hasn't. So you shouldn't be scared that he's going to disappear.
Right.
Like, I don't know why you guys are worried. Why wouldn't you let him out? It's not like he's like has been super powerful in paying off people and doing horrible things for 25 years. I don't know why you would, let him out, but they're not. He is staying there until the trial or whatever, until the next hearing.
In a Brooklyn jail, which they say is a pretty hardcore jail, I read this morning.
Well, he did another thing. He said, please let me out, okay? And I promise that when I go back to my Miami home in Star Island, next door to Rosie O'Donnell, I promise I won't have any female visitors. And I'll let you guys see the log of everybody that comes to my house. And I promise there won't be any females. So can I go home to Star Island or wherever he is? And they said, no.
Yeah.
So he's still staying there. Speaking of Rosie O'Donnell, I saw her talk about it on TikTok.
About P. Diddy?
Yeah.
What was she saying? Are they neighbors?
They are neighbors.
Yeah.
And she said years ago, or at one time they were neighbors on Star Island. So I don't even know if his house is still on Star Island, whatever.
She's not there anymore. She left.
Okay. Well, when she was at Star Island, he was having a New Year's Eve party. And he invited her family, whoever she was married to at the time, the kids, whatever. And they went over in sweats. And the guard would not let them in. They said, it's a white party. You have to wear white.
Yeah.
And I kind of believe he started the whole white party thing.
He did. Yeah.
And that's why we had a white party in the movie White Chicks. And it was like him having these very big white parties in the Hamptons, Paris Hilton, all that stuff. I don't think these were freak offs. I think he had fun, Hollywood, showy parties. And then he had these freak offs, which we'll get into. But she said, so he invited them and the guard turned them away. And then he felt so badly that the next day he said, I rented out the movie theater in our town and you and your kids and everybody, you can see whatever movie you want. I feel so badly. So she had one of those stories of
that she was turned away.
Yeah. So she had one of those stories like nicest guy in the world. So she said, I wouldn't have ever believed it that he was also a rapist. Just like I wouldn't have believed it about Harvey Weinstein because I'd be like, how is this guy like at the Oscars making movies happening and then just like raping on the side? Like and it's like, well, the reason is because Hollywood is corrupt and they shut their fucking faces and they don't talk because he will ruin your life.
Right.
Or take your life.
Right. And she doesn't, Rosie O'Donnell's not behind closed doors with the guy. She goes to a party.
Well, maybe.
I'm sure he's nice at the parties.
Yeah. Maybe he'll let her, maybe he was like, I'll have no women but Rosie come visit me.
Yeah.
This is so many things. There's so many things. We'll just get into it. But really what it comes down to in a nutshell is they have video evidence. So much evidence because he filmed the freak-offs. And the freak-offs were parties in which he would have some professional, like sex workers come.
It said male prostitutes would come over. This is what I read.
Yes.
Male prostitutes would come over and fuck women, and he would masturbate or film it or whatever.
That was one part of it.
Okay.
So basically, it's like he had his own live-action porn.
Yeah.
Instead of watching it on his flat screen, he basically wanted live action porn that he could participate in.
Right.
It's like dinner theater. I don't know.
Kind of.
And so he would, and these people that the trafficking thing is that they would go over state lines and everything. He'd get them at the place.
Right.
And the people that were working for him would have to wear like little fanny packs with all different kinds of drugs and baby oil and things for the party, just in case somebody needed it, in case they were starting to wake up.
So
whatever.
These are handlers of his
staff,
or something?
Whatever.
Staff.
So they would have it all, ready to go. If they were doing it at a hotel, they would go in before, make sure that there's good lighting, that there's plenty of the lube, there's plenty of this, there's plenty of that, plenty of drugs. And then after the freak off, they would go back in and assess the damage and pay whatever damage happened. And in one hotel room, it was $46,000.
Whoa.
So I don't know what they were doing to destroy furniture or whatnot, or throwing people in walls while they were like having sex or raping them.
Jizz.
And a lot of jizz probably on the
all over everything.
I'm sure carpets and things had to be replaced.
Get that off.
The thing is that I've really gathered is what I always suspected of Epstein is that he filmed it and got damaging video evidence of people that he wanted to control, men and women in the music industry, so that they would forever either stay with his label or go go do whatever he said. So there were men that have sued and come forward and said, like, I went over there and he was saying, like, if you want to make it in this business, this is what you have to do. And sometimes it was like they were coerced with drugs and whatnot. But sometimes they woke up the next day and felt pain down there. And he would say, oh, I had you last night. And here's a video of it. So here's a video of us having sex, or here's a video of this
P. Diddy?
Yeah. Or here's a video of this person having sex with you, or,
Yeah.
And so, like, here it is. So I hope you cooperate with everything I ask for you for the next 30 years or whatever. And, sometimes I'm sure sometimes maybe it was, okay, I want to do this, but it was the blackmail of the video and everything that helped control people. And then, of course, there were women that he would meet. This other beautiful blonde girl I saw her story. There's just so many stories. So I am listen, people, there's so much. Like, don't get on me on the facts. Just enjoy that I'm giving you it. It could take 10 years to go through this because it went on for 25 years. But there was this other really beautiful model who said, she met him, and of course, he's charming, he's rich, he's powerful. I'm going to make you my girlfriend and your life's going to change.
Right.
And then how it's going to change is I'm basically going to, abuse you, manipulate you, probably get you addicted to drugs, and then force you to, do things and have sex with people. And I sit back and watch, and now you're a shell of yourself and cut off by everybody. Or if you are in the industry, you feel like Cassie.
Right.
Like, I was looking into the Cassie thing.
That was the one that you see the video of him beating her up in a lobby of a hotel.
So she sued. He denied it. Then all of a sudden he settled. Like, here's $30 million.
Right.
And we're like, okay, well, there's a lot out there. Then somehow, and I looked this up and I don't know how, somehow months later, CNN got that video.
Yeah.
I don't know how they got it, but there's evidence now that he tried to pay off people at the hotel that this video never be seen.
Yeah, that's what I had heard.
So the video is, to remind you guys, it's him holding a towel around his waist. Looks like she's trying to leave, go down an elevator. He grabs her. She's got like a little duffel bag and maybe a purse. Throws her down, kicks her. She's so defeated. It's clearly not the first time she's been abused. And we see this video. What I just read or heard, the defense of that now, his defense is saying.
That's kind of indefensible, though.
Well, this is the story that they're now saying.
Right.
They were a couple.
Mm-hmm.
He was a cheater. She got very upset. She went through his phone, saw that he had all these other girlfriends. She took all of his clothes in that duffel bag.
Oh.
And was leaving. And he was stopping her, hence why he only had a towel on, to get that bag of his clothes back.
Yeah.
So it was a little misunderstanding between a loving couple.
Now that you say it like that, it makes sense. So why the kick then? Just get the...
Well, he wasn't proud of that moment.
Right.
But it wasn't what...
Just for the clothes.
But anyway, he was such a good guy, he decided to give her $30 million.
Yeah.
The other defense of his is the reason he gave her $30 million is because she said, I'm going to write a book, if you don't give me it. And he was like, you know what? You don't need to type. Here's $30 million. Go live your life with the guy that I introduced you to. So his camp is also saying that whoever she ended up falling in love with, who I think she still might be with, who has the 2 kids, was a personal trainer that he was nice enough to introduce her to.
Oh.
So here, you poached my trainer, you married him.
Okay.
You should thank me. You have a beautiful life. And here's like 30 grand,
Right.
Well, then, of course, all these other people came out. There's this other guy that just last week, he was awarded like some huge amount of money, but he is currently in jail. He was a victim of P. Diddy.
Yeah.
And he made a lawsuit, and the judge said, yeah, I believe you. And he was one of the people that said, like, I was used, I was abused, I woke up, this happened,
Yeah.
But he currently is in prison for very bad crimes too.
Yeah. So what happens now? He goes on trial.
So he goes on trial and all these things, there are so many things
like what?
in the history. Let me just tell you
what goes on with like the freak out parties. What happened? What is it called? A freak show?
It's a freak off.
Freak off.
It's a freak off. And to hear the I guess it was the DA of New York explaining.
Yeah.
We have videos of the freak offs.
That's
and,
always great.
I mean, just to be calling it the freak off.
Yeah.
And that's what they called it. They didn't
I
call
know.
it.
And I
you
love
know-
it like when Wolf Blitzer has to report on this type of stuff too, and he has to say things like, and then it was a freak off.
It's a freak off. And it's like now that song, like, are you going to match my freak? You're just like, I feel like freak might be the new word that we don't want to say anymore when it comes
Really?
to like sexual stuff, because it might bring back what.
Okay, a freak off.
Obviously, people are very disturbed by the 1,000 bottles of lube.
That's what I keep hearing.
And yeah, I mean, I think he did buy in bulk, whatever. He's probably a member of Costco or Sam's Club.
Yeah.
However, yeah, that tells me that nobody was prepared to have any kind of
Right.
consensual sex,
Mhm.
and the lube was extremely important as
My
they were just
my
passed
parents
out.
buy in bulk as well. I'm
Lube?
not saying no
Okay.
ketchup. They have a lot of ketchup. They're getting up there now, and I told them I want to be honest with you. I don't think you're not gonna make it through this box of ketchup.
My parents had a thing of paprika, and they did not make it.
Didn't
I
make
think I inherited it. I think I still have it because it's
Good for you.
Yeah, I think
That's
I still
nice.
have the paprika.
Yeah.
My mom always liked it on salmon.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I don't know why, but yeah.
Sounds a little freaky to make it, if you could still say such things.
Let me just tell you some.
But now what I had read,
Yes.
okay, I
Ask me about
read
anything.
that there's like these, women, whether they be famous or singers and trying out for, because he had
Yes.
these other these offshoot bands. I remember years ago he was on Chelsea Lately with a band. Remember he came on
Remember,
with those?
he was late.
Yeah, he was
He
very
was
late.
very late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Chelsea
He's
tore
probably
him
going for a
apart.
freak off.
Yeah, I mean, he probably was at a freak off.
Yeah.
Probably had to clean up a hotel room. But anyway, he had like a female band with him or whatever.
Yes, Danity Kane in 2008.
That's what it was.
So he
Yeah.
had a show on MTV, making of the band. He first did it with a boy band.
Mhm.
And I watched something last night that's on Hulu from the Impact Theory series, which I've been on a couple of those documentaries. And it was probably done 6 months ago, but it popped up. So I rewatched it where I was like, oh my God, I didn't even realize all this was going on. So there was one guy from that was interviewed, which again, he was some white guy, won it, had one album with him.
Yeah.
He didn't have anything bad to say. Okay. Well, Aubrey O'Day was part of this Danity Kane.
Yeah.
And she has been like sounding the whistle of what an awful person he is for years. And everybody was like, oh, shut up,
Yeah.
whatever. So in the stuff I came across, somebody is now saying that, and all this is like alleged, whatever. There's so much information coming at me. I'm just like going to tell you what everything I've seen and heard, and you can take it for what you want. That someone said his thing was to, if they didn't work out as a band, he'd get them addicted to drugs and then use them as part of his freak off.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, he would get girls addicted to drugs and stuff. And some girls and boys are allegedly under 18 and some were not.
Right.
But it was really the coercion of being under drugs and also manipulation and also do this and I'll help your career.
Yeah.
And then having it happen and feeling like, well, now this is out there hanging over my head, so I better cooperate with everything else that's asked of me.
Wow.
And really, really horrible. Here it says, in docs obtained by TMZ, Diddy's legal team says if he's released on bail, the security company that keeps a log of all visitors to his Miami Beach home will hand over those logs to the government nightly in order to be fully transparent about who Diddy is contacting. They also say Diddy will limit all visitors to family, property caretakers, and friends who are not co-conspirators in the federal indictment. Well, that's probably not many people left in his circle. This is a show I did in 1998 called Lyricist Lounge.
Okay.
Tracy Ellis Ross. It was Claude Brooks produced it. It was on MTV. These are some of the other people. They were all like rappers that wrote lyrics and stuff. And I remember it was Snoop Dogg made an appearance. All these people, and I remember they wrote a song and like a rap, and they're like, and we're gonna, and da da da, and I'm the gay rapper, and I was like, wait, what's that? And they're like, oh, there's like this secret thing about among rappers, like who are the gay rappers? Because at that time nobody was out, nobody.
Right.
So I was like, oh, so I think from way back then, there was a lot of DL stuff,
Right.
on the down low and everything. And it just makes sense that P. Diddy was part of that. And obviously he has, sex with men and women. And, God forbid, it sounds like some of them are not of age.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I remember that. You guys know I'm all about my hair, but it needs help just like everybody else's. And that's what I love about Way. My hair needs extra moisture. It needs extra volume. And their shampoos and conditioners are made to deliver exactly what is right for me, but also what is right for your hair type as well. Whether you have fine, medium, or thick hair, Way has got you. Maybe you need to start your week with a detox. I absolutely love detox shampoo because it deeply cleanses away the buildup, which I get a lot of from styling products, oil, impurities, and more, and it leaves my hair feeling refreshed and super clean. If you want that soft, shiny hair, and who doesn't, Way's got you with their Way's Conditioning Hair Mask. Oh my God, this is the best for fine to medium and thick hair types. Instantly restores hydration, fights the frizz, and strengthens the strands. I absolutely love this product. You want to turn up the volume? Well, fine hair shampoo and conditioner will do just that, giving your locks a luxurious lift. Wash your way to healthy hair and get a hair routine that's made just for you. By Way. Go to TheWay, TheOuai.com, and use promo code JUICY for 15% off any product. That's TheWay, TheOuai.com, code JUICY. Okay, Juicy Scoopers, if you are a parent, you know this time of year is quite overwhelming. And along with driving your kids everywhere, making sure the homework's done, you've also got to do the meal planning, the grocery shopping, and the cooking, and it can be a huge hassle. Well, Hungry Root is the easiest way to do that and stay healthy. They send you fresh, high-quality groceries, simple, delicious recipes, and essential supplements. It's like having someone else do all the planning and the shopping so you don't even have to think about it, which I love. Hungry Root gets to know your personal health goals, dietary restrictions, favorite foods, how much time you want to spend cooking, and more. And they build you a personalized cart with your grocery needs for the week, including easy only four ingredient recipes to put those groceries to use. I absolutely loved it. I got veggies, I got some chicken, I was able to make some easy meals, I had my lettuce for my salads. It came, I got it, and I loved it. Right now, Hungry Root is offering Juicy Scoopers with Heather McDonald 40% off your first delivery and free veggies for life. Just go to hungryroot.com/juicyscoop to get 40% off your first delivery and get your free veggies. That's hungryroot.com/juicyscoop. Don't forget to use our link so they know we sent you. This also came out. Radar Online allegedly put out this a few months ago, and this girl talked about Kadisha on TikTok. Kim Porter's tell-all book. Now, Kim Porter was beautiful actress, model that I don't know if they were ever married, but she is the mother of the twin girls that are now staying with her friend.
Yeah. How old are they?
They're like teenagers.
Oh, okay.
Like maybe close to graduating high school or around there.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has 2 or 3 boys.
They're older. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And so she, unfortunately, at the age of 43 and being fit and gorgeous and healthy, got pneumonia.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah, she died.
She did? Oh,
yeah, just as this book was finished, about to be finished.
Okay.
So that was kind of interesting. And then when they found out she died, Corey, who is Kris Jenner's boyfriend, he was there.
He was at where?
When the police came.
What was he doing there?
Just helping out.
Oh.
Just helping out. Interesting, right?
Yeah.
And, I don't know how many people are dying of pneumonia these days.
Yeah.
Hope no one catches polio.
Right.
But interesting. And everyone has always thought there's something real suspicious about it. Okay. There's always something, people always thought he was involved in the Tupac murder. Yeah. And I still don't know if we've ever truly solved that because whoever's saying that he did it, I don't know, because that person's in jail. So in her book, alleged book that she was writing, she tells about, how he comes in and she's like, oh, you got me flowers. And he's like, these flowers are from this guy. And she's like, what? Like, he probably even bought the flowers just to be mad at her, physically abused her, all this right then, just freaks out. And she's like, what's going on? And just it's very similar to what was going on with the Cassie, where you're just in this situation of horribleness.
Right.
So there's that. This girl, Jaguar Wright, has been talking about P. Diddy and all the secrets and all the disgusting shit that he's done. She's been talking for like 3 years on different podcasts and things.
And who's she?
She is a songwriter that's been in that world, has won, has had a level of success in the business. And so I just heard a little interview she did. She's like so excited this is finally happening. She's been saying it. She wasn't accusing Jay-Z of being it, but I think there's a theory of like, there's other people that just don't want to now be associated with him. From J-Lo, who dated him.
Yeah, that was...
Yeah, they want people to forget that they ever were part of his world. Jamie Foxx, Jay-Z. I'm not saying any of those people did anything wrong except know him as a person and hang out with him. But, I mean, I think a lot of people are probably freaking out.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is, if we never got the videos, if we never found out who the Epstein people were, are we going to find out who all these people were?
Maybe. Who knows? Yeah.
And then people would say that, like, okay. Also, Wendy Williams always was saying.
I do remember that.
She was always saying, like, I remember she said, Matt, it's hard for Cassie because I think she even mentioned Cassie in this story, but she was like, or she sort of alluded to it, but like, even if you try to leave and you're dating a powerful mogul like that in Hollywood, in the music industry, and you leave and you're at a hotel, you better believe he's going to find that hotel. He's going to land his helicopter on the roof and someone's going to be knocking on your door and it's going to be like, it's time to go. Like how do you really escape someone that has all that power? It's just, but here were some of all the crimes that, here's this other part. This I thought was really interesting. Meet Sean Diddy. This is from New York Post. Manipulator in chief. So this girl is being compared to the Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yes, right.
Her name is Christina Croem. She's chief of staff at Combs Entertainment. She has been implicated in the sex trafficking investigation.
And she recruits the people?
They said she's alleged to have played a significant role in facilitating and covering up illegal activities, including organizing the freak off. So she's like a party planner.
Yeah.
That involved sex workers.
Freak off planner.
Yes.
Big difference.
Involved sex workers and controlled substances. Despite these serious allegations, she has not been arrested, but the accusations highlight her deep involvement in the operations and her close relationship with Combs, who has pleaded not guilty. He's pleaded not guilty all the stuff to sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation to engage in prostitution. And so according to it, they said, he has said in an interview, she's been my right hand for the last 8 years and has consistently proven to execute and get shit done, like buying the lube. Don't know how I'd function without her. I guess it would be not very...
Yeah. Wow.
I don't know how you would function without that lube. But also, according to the Little Rod suit, that was the guy that actually won, I think, his suit. She ordered sex workers and prostitutes for Diddy and would also have to get baby oil, lubricant, extra linens, and lighting to prepare. So I wanted some good lighting in like the sad
extra
hotel
linens
room.
Are important, I think,
when
you're doing that kind of business. They
found AR-15s, 3 of them, and then I was looking back, and at one point when he was accused, he was at a nightclub. That was the thing with J-Lo. And a shot went off and it shot this woman in the face.
Yeah.
And this other guy that was from Belize went to prison for like 9 years. He since has got out, lives in Belize, is like a politician there and is all clean cut. And he says, yeah, I was a scapegoat.
Oh.
Like, so this woman has always said it was P. Diddy, Sean Combs' love, whatever, that shot her in the face. He got out of it, said, I've never owned a gun. I don't have a gun. J-Lo was there. She, got out of that situation. But I remember this guy telling me that was like a manager at a big management company that absolutely existed. I went to the offices. And I don't know if he was trying to impress me or what, but he was like, oh, yeah, I just did a meeting with Puff Daddy was Puff Daddy at the time.
Yeah.
Because it was like before 2000. And he's like, about J-Lo, because J-Lo's going to be the next biggest thing. And I'm like, that was when I was like, who's J-Lo? Like, I didn't even know at the time. And he put down a gun on the table. And he just told me that. And I was like, oh, that's kind of scary. But then I was like, maybe that's the way like music rappers do business. Like, I didn't know. So he's always been having guns and threatening. And then to see him say, oh, I don't even own a gun. Well, clearly they found 3 AK-15s with the serial number scraped off. They found that in the raid. Defaced serial numbers, and a drum magazine that was found in the raid.
A what?
Drum magazine were found in the raids.
Yeah.
Narcotics, including ketamine and ecstasy, were seized, which were reportedly used to maintain and control over the victims.
Okay.
Also, there are rumors that there was also the GHB drug, Xanax, cocaine, and Oxy also being found. Let me see what else was there. I want to talk about. Oh, these were all the things. So back in March of 24, the government agent that's when he had the search in March of 24 of his homes in Miami and LA. They were looking into claims that he was involved. So it must have been from that search that they have built their whole case from, I'm assuming, and what they found. And they have video evidence, of course, of the assault with Cassie in the hallway from 2016. But here's some of the other things that he got in trouble with.
In the past?
In the past. In 1991, Combs co-promoted an event that led to a deadly stampede. Then there was the Jake Grohl shooting in 1995, an incident linked to a feud between Combs and Suge Knight. The Steve Stouty attack in 1998, Combs assaulted Stouty over a music video dispute. Then there was the New York club shooting in 99. That is the one that I think I was talking about with the girl shot in the face. Then there was the J. Cole scuffle in 2013, an alleged altercation at an MTV VMA's movie after party. Then there was the Drake incident in 2014 where Combs allegedly punched Drake over music rights and Millie Brown. No, just kidding. No.
Didn't mention anything about the glasses.
No, Drake didn't like his glasses from the Sean collection. This one is my favorite.
Okay.
Because this really brings it home and makes him relatable.
Right.
In 2015, Combs had a physical confrontation with a UCLA coach who was coaching his son.
Oh.
He was that dad.
Yeah, he's going to be that guy.
Why aren't you playing my son better? Like, he even took it to to the dad portion of his life. Okay. Then there was a Jane Doe lawsuit. Back in 91, there was one where this woman said she was, allegedly drugged, raped, and filmed sexual assault. There was a second Jane Doe, same type of thing from singer-songwriter Aaron Hall, involving singer-songwriter Aaron Hall. Then there was a third Jane Doe lawsuit in 2003, claims of gang rape involving Combs at his studio. I just can't believe that all these things were out there.
Yeah.
Just like when someone else says, oh, there's a lawsuit about a Real Housewife who didn't pay her lady that did her hair extensions in 2015. Okay.
Right.
And we hear about those things. These all existed.
Right.
And nobody reported on it. Like, nobody was saying this.
I heard about all those, though.
Back in 90, and I don't know. I feel like you're right. But it's just, I really did not hear about him being like, and I feel like, even like at the Lyricist Lounge, I never heard about him being a bad person.
Yeah.
I didn't really hear about it until like recently.
Right.
I wouldn't have been scared to meet him or anything. I mean, I saw him with like celebrities. I figured, he had several, wives / partners, whatever. But I never heard rumors of this freak offs and things like that.
I never heard about the freak offs. Yeah.
So I'm saying when you're part of it.
You're not running in freak off circles, I don't think.
No, right. But I'm saying it never made it to any mainstream type of stuff. If there was talk among the music world, it was staying within the music world and they were keeping it quiet.
50 Cent every now and again would come out and say things.
Oh, 50 Cent is so happy.
So he was always kind of, I think,
he was always kind of dropping
whistle.
it and saying it, and like putting it out there, knowing like, I feel like now, if you're in this world of Hollywood and stuff and there's bad people, like it's just a matter of time. It's just a
Yeah.
matter of time, and you just have to be patient. And it's going to be hard because I'm assuming, Fitty knew for 10 years, and he was like, this motherfucker just got another, eyewear frame deal.
Yeah.
He just got another
you.
vodka Ciroc. He just
Yeah.
got another. He's got the key to the city. He changed his name to Love. Ellen's still having him on. Fitty was probably
He was
like
in movies there for a minute.
Fitty was probably like, when is the world gonna see that? Like,
Yeah.
when is this all gonna happen? But I can't be the whistleblower. I'll just keep dropping the hints
Yeah.
on a tweet, on a this, on a that.
I mean,
And
his white parties in
eventually-
the Hamptons were, like you said
Legendary.
earlier, they were the first white. I mean, there was
They called him the Great Gatsby of
Yeah.
our time.
It
Like
was-
he was like, you have, go to the Great Gatsby parties of the 20s. It was like that was P. Diddy, and that was like the first time we really saw like hip hop moguls be partying in that part of richness is
Yeah.
the Hamptons. You've like made it, but I mean, I think, like I said, I think if there's a photo of someone like a Paris Hilton at the white party wearing white from 1995, no, I don't think she was part of the freak-offs. I don't.
No.
But probably
Yeah.
some people in those photos were.
Yeah.
And some people went to the party and had a few drinks and had a passed app and took some photos and went home and thought he was the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah. I just don't know when, I read all these stories and when do you have time for all this? Like, I feel like the guy's designing clothes, designing eyewear and
Well, I think part of it,
vodka.
besides
when do
him-
you have time for freak off?
I think besides being a freak and being a horrible person and having a God complex and a devil complex and everything else, thinking you control people, I think much like Jeffrey Epstein,
Yeah.
this part of manipulation of the people that maybe either participated willingly or unwillingly and filming it was part of his wealth growth.
Right.
That is what got him the rappers that maybe were like on the fence about signing with him or
Yeah.
got I don't know, along with
Yeah.
him being a horrific gross person. I think it added to his power and his wealth, and then paying off, cops and things like that, I'm sure were all
Yeah.
part of it.
Wow.
And now I know why he always wore sunglasses.
Oh, why?
Because
Yeah.
eyes don't lie when you're just a
Oh.
horrible person. And when he did that one video after the Cassie thing,
Yeah.
when the video came out, he tried to save himself. He took off the glasses.
Yeah.
He did what you say, like take off your makeup, maybe do a tinted moisturizer if
Right.
you're white,
Find a room in the house that doesn't
a
look
little
too
lip
garish.
gloss. Yeah,
you know?
nothing too fancy. You don't want your Emmys in the back.
No,
you don't
no,
want
yeah.
the ocean in the back. He did
Yeah.
that without, but he did take off the glasses, and he was like, yeah, you couldn't deny that video, but he was like, I was in a bad place.
Yeah.
However, he didn't say then, she took my clothes and we were just a toxic fighting couple. Now that's the defense story is
Right.
that they were a toxic fighting couple, and she, like every chick, I found your phone. Who's
Right.
this bitch that you're talking to? I'm taking your clothes, and then he lost it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we know obviously she got her money.
So
and-
now are we going to hear, is there going to be like a 60 Minutes or whatever with all the people who are at the freak offs? I mean, are we going to hear sit down Gayle King interviews with freak off people? I mean, that's what you want to hear now.
I think anybody that's involved
I guess I'm more
freaking out because whether they were a victim participating or part of getting the people, I believe the police know.
Yeah.
I believe the detectives and the prosecutors know every single person, and that's why they took this time to. So, and maybe because the powers that be wouldn't let them expose the elites of Jeffrey Epstein. Maybe this is New York as well. Maybe they're like, no, we're not going to let this one go by. This is at the level of R. Kelly and, yeah.
Okay. Wow.
I mean, it's absolutely horrible, but then also I think it's a good time in the world that this shit hopefully is really getting exposed, and anybody that's currently doing that hasn't been caught, I hope to God they stop.
You think that's still going on? I mean, I feel like people now, I don't know. I feel
Well,
like
I mean,
we live
people
in
talk
less
about,
of a-
there's trafficking raids all the time.
Yeah.
But with the elites, like the way people would talk about the Hollywood elites, we'd all kind of laugh and, this is whatever. But look, Jeffrey Epstein, R. Kelly, him, The Balenciaga thing, which no one cares about anymore, and everyone's like, what was that about? Anyway,
Right.
all that weird shit exists. And
Right.
I think the fact that it's like exposed and now people just talk about it, get it out there so that it's less likely to happen again in the next 10 years. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping. But I think he'll spend the rest of his life in prison.
It looks like it.
100%.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Shit. And all for what? Like just watch Pornhub or something. Like,
It's not as fun.
is it
No,
not
that's
as
what
fun?
I'm saying. He wanted his own live action. But that's where like people are like, okay, this is the Hollywood elites where you're controlling the people and what they think. It's
Yeah.
like it's just each step. It's like, oh, I'm rich. Now I can have a pretty girlfriend. Okay, well,
Right.
now I can have 5 girlfriends. Well, now I can have sex with whoever I want. Well, now I want to bring in, guys and girls who are underage. Now I want to see my friends do it. Now I
Right.
want, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. That's where I'm like, it's not just someone who's a sex addict that was a weirdo that hired prostitutes or whatever. It
Right.
is like, it's about the control, the manipulation, the power over humans. Like you have power over humans. You're forcing them in this situation. You're purposely trying to get them addicted to drugs so that they can't get out of this situation.
Yeah.
That's where the real evil is. So poor Wendy Williams, who always knew all the stuff back from her radio days.
Back to her DJ days. She was in this world.
Right. Well, I was, very upset by the documentaries because I'm like, I don't care that she's agreed to do this. Like, why did they allow her to be on it? She, wasn't we know she has dementia. We know she has an addiction problem. Now, Wendy Williams' conservator is suing A&E Networks, Lifetime, and the creators of her bombshell docuseries, claiming the host made chump change. Only $82,000 was how much she made on both of them. There were a few of them, and so they're going after them, saying they must feel they have damages or whatever, and that the creators were likely to have made millions,
Wow.
and she only got paid $82,000.
Yeah.
So I feel so badly for her. There's this new Nostradamus guy that's revealing and apparently he's predicted a bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah. What's
I guess
his
there was a
latest?
meteor that was supposed to go by the Earth the other day.
Did it happen?
I don't know. It didn't hit us. So I guess we would have heard or not. Anyway, I know I've talked about my ability.
Your
Psychic ability.
Psychic ability. Yes. Okay.
So another one of my psychic things came true last
What?
night. Yeah. I don't want you to freak out.
It came true last night.
It came true last night.
Oh.
I predicted it about 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
And I was smart enough to have Drake cut that clip,
Okay.
which, by the way, some of my reels and TikToks do well. Others, sometimes I don't know if I post at the wrong time, they don't really get on. So this one only had about 50,000 views, which isn't my best, but whatever.
Yeah.
But it was about how I predicted that Anna Delvey they were going to start the dance on her ankle bracelet, which would be bedazzled just above the brown character shoe and go up her leg. And sure enough, here we are. Here it is.
Yeah.
Here it is, bedazzled. And when in the comments of when I cut that clip, before I knew this was going to happen, people said, that's a great prediction, Heather, but you cannot bedazzle an ankle bracelet. It's government property. You can't touch it. You can't camouflage it.
Well, tell that to the gay bedazzler over at Dancing with the Stars. He's not going to let the government stop him. Excuse me. This will be bedazzled, sweetheart.
You're right. That would have been a whole. That's definitely against. That's
Arrest me if you must, but this needs.
This has got. Look how well it matched her dress.
Yeah, I mean, he nailed it.
Yes, and so anyway, all of a sudden, calls, texts, people shaking. They're like, Heather, what other things can you predict?
So you're like the new Nostradamus. Forget that guy.
I'm only pop culture. And
you're not seeing like earthquakes happening or like
I'm
World War III or anything.
Well, when I do go to bed and I pray no earthquake, it doesn't happen. And every time we have
a lot lately.
I know, and all those times I didn't.
Yeah.
I fell asleep watching something and I forgot to say my prayer.
Oh no.
And so, yeah. And I am like a dog about earthquakes.
Okay.
I do feel it, and I can predict exactly how big it was.
Yeah.
And so the other day when we had the 4 it was a 4.7, and I immediately took to my phone because now I'm like,
I saw the video.
and I said 4.6, and it was 4.7.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know what to tell you, but I did have a nun that told me that I think she would just try to settle the class down.
Well,
we'd freak out. She'd say, that's God just settling it so it won't be a big one later. So I always just wanted to believe that little ones are okay.
I think they are kind of. They release the pressure of.
Okay,
of,
good.
I
hope
mean, I've
so.
heard that.
I hope. I'm not moving, so deal with it.
But now that we are on the prediction of who's going to win Dancing with the Stars? Not that anybody cares, but
I mean,
do you know?
I don't even.
Is she going to win? Anna Delvey? No.
I don't have the list in front of me, but the person that's going to win is going to be the athlete.
The gymnastics?
Whoever the athlete is.
There's several in this season, as far as I know.
It'll be the female athlete.
Yeah.
Whoever that is.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's it. That's what I'm going to say. And I don't even know who it is, but I'm just going to say whoever the female athlete is going to win.
This Alfonso Ribeiro, he's the host over there.
Yeah.
That guy has been, good for him.
Good for him.
He has worked nonstop in some way or another for his whole, without
I've met
any.
him.
Have
Delight.
you? Yeah,
When we were going on a tour of Calabasas High for Drake.
Okay.
And he and his wife and his daughter were on the tour with us.
Yeah.
And Delight.
Really?
Delight, just
That's
nice.
probably
Like
why?
he recognized me. We didn't know each other, but like he knew that I was some face that was familiar.
Uh-huh.
And of course, I knew him.
Yeah.
And
Carlton.
he's a class act.
I think that's why he continues
Let's
to
hope
work.
he's not at the freak offs.
That's what my next thing. I'm like, you don't want this, because he seems like a guy who, you never
He's
know.
like a family guy.
He'd get a phone call. Come over. We're getting a.
Or it was back in the Will Smith days that he didn't know what he was doing. He was so excited because he was a dork at heart. He was so excited that Will Smith invited him to a Puff Daddy party, and he didn't know what he was doing. And now, oh God,
You think
now
Will Smith goes to freaky deekies or freaky freak-offs? Yeah?
Come on. That would be a good, if we're guessing for money, I'm guessing he may have found himself at one time.
Yeah.
Maybe.
The party in the Hamptons, the white party, whether that was a freak off or not, or everybody was at that. Everybody.
That's why I'm saying I don't think, just like when someone has a photo next to Harvey Weinstein at the Oscars, I don't think we should say, were you, part of trafficking women to go to the Peninsula Hotel? No, just because you sat there, just because someone walks up to you and is like, Heather, can I get a photo? You don't know you're not. I don't know that I'm not taking a photo with a serial killer. If someone asks me.
Exactly.
If I say no, then they do a TikTok and say I'm a bitch.
Yeah.
So I'd rather say yes and find out that they were a serial killer.
And then now you're in on the crime.
And then they're like, why was Heather finding children for him?
Yeah.
No. So no, I think again, one of those parties, just like that other new guy that's having the big parties in the Hamptons.
Yes, the sports guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on, you're getting invited. No one's asking that many questions when your hot girlfriend is like, girl, get out your white dress and your tan G-string.
Well,
we
what
are going
I had
to a
heard
party.
was the white party, actually Howard Stern talked about it. I think he went a couple of times. And he's like, there's two parties. And he goes, and I was invited to the one where, and then there's another party on the inside of the house.
There's
the backyard party, and you need another code or password to get into the inside house. And he's like, once I realized I couldn't get in the inside house, I guess I'm out. I'm not going
anymore.
I'm Howard Stern.
So he never went at all?
No, he went, but he got there and didn't realize there were two different. There's backyard people.
Okay.
And there's inside the house people.
But did he want to go to the inside?
Well, he didn't know. He
didn't know it was a freak.
He said he wanted to go to the bathroom and they wouldn't let him in the house. I don't know.
And then it's like, what are you going to bring to the party? Instead of a bottle of wine, I brought this lube.
Yes.
That's what you bring to a P. Diddy party is a bottle of lube, not a bottle of Dom.
Something Whoopi Goldberg said.
Oh, yes, she did.
The View. Having lube's not a crime. Yeah, but everything else is. The lube's not the crime. Agreed. Yeah, everything else is.
Poor Whoopi. She's just whatever.
Whoopi's just like.
Yeah, and it's live and whatever. She said it. Fry's like, now I have to apologize in my Crocs. I don't want, come on, you guys.
Well, I think
Chris and Heather made a couple chuckles about it. Look, it's not a funny subject, but whatever. When you're a comedian, sometimes
you got to find a way.
Yeah, sometimes something,
It's heavy.
I remember when the Weinstein thing broke. You came, we were recording the show at my house. It's been a long time ago. And we were both
You and I?
dying.
We were?
Yeah, we were both dying about it. Mm-hmm. And there was this expose article, and I'm sorry, but it kind of read funny. To me, it sort of read funny because it always involved the bathroom, and he was such a Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah.
He was such the elite and people giving their Oscar. And I'd like to thank God, a.k.a. Harvey Weinstein. And it was just like, of all the people to be caught, you were just like, motherfucker. Like, I always wondered why his wife was with him. Clearly, like, I've heard stories of how they got together. She divorced him right away. You know, she's dating Adrian Brody now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Still beautiful, still designing clothes. Left Jabba the Hutt rapist and still did better.
Cute Adrian
There's some
Brody.
women that will just continue to marry and do better.
I don't know how.
what it is, but they just like the luck just keeps like something bad.
But
bad.
They travel in those social circles.
And she divorced him right away, got all her money before lawsuits and things and lawyers could take that money. So she took a big chunk, was like, goodbye, I'm still pretty. And then
that's got to be good for Adrian Brody. Every day, if he feels like he's not looking cute, she's like, honey, did you see what I was with before? You look amazing. You could eat nothing but donuts the rest of your life and still be better than a piece of shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But the rumor that I heard, she was an escort.
Oh, really?
That they met that way. But that's a rumor.
Okay.
So I'm not saying it's 100% true.
Yeah,
I'm sure she loved him for his intellect.
Right.
And for the funny conversations they had, you know.
Oh, and Harvey.
I'm sure. Anyway, to get back to that. So then you come over and we're reading this, and it's a lot about so we go and record it and we talk about it. And we're just like dying because it's just like one of those, our heads were exploding at the time. And we filmed a bit where in my room, I come out in a white, do you remember this? I came out in a white robe and you took a photo of having to massage my shoulders and stuff. And then I remember that I'm just going to tell everything about my life because whatever, it's all there because this was like something that was shocked me. So we're not on TV anymore and someone calls me and they're like, hey, will you talk about the Harvey Weinstein thing? I'm like, sure. So the car picks me up at like 5 a.m. and I go to this studio in like LA and I talk to that judge, Janine, whatever her name is, from Fox.
Oh.
So it was a Fox network thing. Okay. Now this is 8 years ago.
Yeah.
I didn't know that if you appear on a Fox thing that now you're going to be burned at the stake, just under the Hollywood sign. I didn't realize that was part of the thing.
Yeah.
And I was knowledgeable of it and just excited to be picked. I mean, that's why I'm like, you know, that's even if I got called in for jury duty, I'd be like, I hope I make it. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to be chosen, you know? So I would do the thing. And they were like, don't you think it's weird that SNL didn't mention it, like and at the time I was like, I don't know, maybe there is a connection, maybe they don't know that he's really guilty and they have business dealings with him. I don't know. Then I was like, well, it is a pretty gross subject. I
know it's an SNL
just because Chris and I did a bathrobe thing. So I want to say, in Whoopi's defense,
we're very edgy.
But in Whoopi's defense and everything, sometimes you're just like, it's hard to say what, you know, it's not always what you think. It's not always like this deep layered thought process is what I'm saying.
No, I agree. And
anyway, so then I got in my car and I just was inundated with hate.
Yes.
I do remember talking about it, like really like edgy, roughly about it. And I remember that Judge Janine, whatever's face being like, because it was like a Skype or whatever.
Her face was kind of
it was like a Skype.
Like that.
And I said something and she was like couldn't believe what I said. And I was like, what? Like I forgot that I was like on this like conservative network and amazing. Curious about Ozempic or Wegovy? I know you are. We've talked so much about it, but maybe you can't get your hands on it. Well, that is where Ro comes in. Through Ro, you can access prescription compounded GLP-1s with the same weight loss ingredients as brand name GLP-1s at a fraction of the cost. Ro has compounded GLP-1s in stock now. You can get it in 1 to 4 days if you qualify. Ro members have support throughout the process. If eligible for medication, patients have access to their provider on demand for any questions. You can see if you qualify from the comfort of your own home. This means no scheduling a doctor's appointment, no commute to the doctor's office, and no waiting rooms. If prescribed, your medication ships directly to you in 1 to 4 days. Go to ro.co/juicyscoop. Membership start at just $99 for your first month. Medication costs are separate. What I really love about this is that if you have any questions, you have someone that you can directly communicate with on your weight loss journey. That's ro.co/juicyscoop. Go to ro.co/safety for black box warning and full safety information. Compounded medication is not required to and does not receive FDA review or approval. RX only. So anyway, I want to talk about this because I feel like you would have a lot to say about this.
Finally, we got something I could sink my teeth into.
You couldn't sink your teeth into.
No, I mean, I
okay,
could.
Tell me what happened with Jane's Addiction. This happened over the weekend.
Yes, Jane's Addiction.
On stage, I saw the video and I was like, oh my God. And then I wanted to save it because I knew you'd have a better take on it. Okay, so tell me what happened.
Jane's Addiction, always great band, always, they've had their issues over the years, but they're back together. Everybody was shocked that they're getting back together because they hate each other, more or less.
Dave Navarro, who was like the first guy to wear black nail polish. At the time, it was real edgy. Now it's like, if you're not wearing black nail polish, who are you? Okay.
Yeah.
And he was married to
Carmen Electra,
and they had a show on MTV till Death Do Us Part, and their marriage lasted like a couple of years. And he was a guitarist, but I'm just saying so he was a guitarist on this first.
Yes.
Then he went on his own.
Yes.
And now they have this comeback tour. Okay, so now what happened? Tour.
Perry Farrell is the lead singer of Jane's Addiction and founding member. And what I had heard, what they were on stage, and what they're saying now is the band is playing too loud. Dave Navarro and the other guys are playing too loud, and Perry Farrell's having to struggle to sing. They can't hear him.
Okay.
And I guess Perry Farrell talks a lot in between songs.
Like Adele.
He tells stories. Yeah, exactly. Some people do. And I guess they don't like it, so they start playing while he's talking. And it had happened several shows leading up to this.
I have to say also, this is such, they really are becoming old men.
That's it.
This is like such an old man gripe. Let me finish my story. Okay. And then be like, come on.
Yeah.
We want to get the show over with.
Yeah.
We still have 3 songs to go. Okay, continue.
So I guess it just came to a head, and he finally was saying that Dave Navarro was playing too loud. His voice couldn't be heard, and he went over and confronted him. And then they're saying that one of the other guys in the band took some his wife, Perry Farrell's wife, went on Instagram to say,
saw that.
Did you see him taking cheap shots at Perry, punching him while he was...
The other guy who pushed him away, or Dave?
No, the bass player.
Is that the guy who's holding him right now? Is that the bass player?
Another guy comes in.
Oh,
another guy comes in and starts punching Perry Farrell. So anyway, Dave Navarro came out and said, he said a nice thing. He said, we should have done that. Then Perry Farrell kind of came out and said, then they said, we're done. We're canceling the tour. It's over. We're not performing together anymore. So that's the end of it.
But the other thing I read is that it was I imagined him singing, and he said that there were people in the in the audience that were like, we can't hear you. And I'm like, okay, well, also they probably can't hear him because whatever, it's weird and you're in the front and maybe you're older, whatever. But I also love that too, that now everybody, I've gotten several DMs from fans that said, we came to see you, Perry, not Dave Navarro's guitar.
Right.
And he's like, they're here to see me. It's just all the
he was also upset because he believed Perry Farrell was saying that they're all out to get him. They think they were turning his mic down.
Yeah.
And they were fucking with him. So that's what he believes.
What do you think? Do you think they were fucking with him?
I think, yes. I think they probably were playing loud. Yeah, I do. I do think they were fucking.
Do you think they regret it?
They also, there's rumors. That
they were going to freak off after.
They had to end the show to get to a freak off. No, there was rumors there was 1,000 bottles of lube backstage. No, that he'd been drinking. Perry Farrell apparently drinks a bottle of wine on stage, and he had been drinking, and who knows whether that's a thing or not. But I don't know. It seemed like Dave Navarro kept his cool throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I think he's probably happy that it's over. He can go back to his tattoo. Doesn't he have a tattoo show or something? I think he judges tattoos on some show.
I don't know. He's one of those people that, it's like that look's never going to change. When he's 70, he's going to have that same look.
I mean, eventually, with the bands like that, you just, like you were saying, I felt the same thing with P. Diddy, seeing that video of him in the park.
Yeah.
Now he's just like a fat old man, and the same with Harvey Weinstein. all this stuff. You're like, oh man, those were the days. And now you're just a fat old man.
Yeah, or you get to the level of like, yeah. And that's why he was probably, I'm sure the freak-offs haven't happened in the last 5 years or maybe the last couple years. I'm sure they stopped. I think that's why he was like, now I'm loved.
Look at me now.
Then he started to worry that it is all going to crumble. And he was like, let me see if I can make good with my maker. And if I do nice things and I talk about love and I donate, maybe then, I'll be spared my fate. But he probably knew it was looming.
Right.
And, okay, a little bit latest on the Dave Grohl. People in New York Post saying Dave Grohl was jealous of his wife, Jordan's flirty relationship with her hot tennis coach. Here he is.
Oh, wow.
He looks like a rock star turned tennis coach.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like Dave. He's got, but like blonde kind of rock star hair, a beard. And then they also showed the cute wife, Jordan, leaving her tennis practice.
Was that recently?
Yes, it's all like today. And I just think it's like, it's such a cliche that that the divorcee to be or whatever would start dating her tennis coach. I took tennis lessons during COVID.
Yeah. Oh, you did?
Uh-huh. Just to do something during COVID. And the tennis guy who was cute.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let's see where this leads us. I'm ready for something to excite my life. And he goes, so like, where is this going? And I'm like, what do you mean, where is this going? Like, I'm a married woman. He's like, no, what's the goal of this tennis? Because you're not improving.
Oh, no.
At all.
Oh, so he quit on you, kind of, right?
He did.
Oh, no.
He did. I was like, I don't know. I just like to like have a rally. Like, I'm not like trying to go to Wimbledon and I just wanted to have some exercise and it was just giving me something to do.
Right.
And then he's like, I don't know. It's just like, you're not improving and it's like, it's not that fun for me. And I was like, I'm paying you.
Right. This is your job to take people who can't play tennis.
And so just like a relationship, he never wrote me again to be like, hey, is Wednesday at 3 still good? He literally like just did not want to teach me anymore. And then he eventually got fired from the club for like talking shit about other members.
I mean, as a friend of Dave Grohl's, this story hurt me a little bit.
Yes.
But it was no surprise.
Tell us why there was no surprise. I've already given my insight. Do you know
have?
and I heard from our friend.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
I hear from her a lot, actually.
And she said she loved that I talked about it because I was a little worried that she would care.
Oh.
And she
Did you mention her?
No, I didn't say her name. But she said that that absolutely nothing ever happened. And she said, if you looked at our text, it would look like two 14-year-old boys talking about music.
Yeah.
I said, I believe you, but I also believe that he was fishing and you just didn't catch the bait.
Right. That's probably all true.
Yes. Okay.
However, I don't want to say I knew about this. I knew that there was a baby.
How did you know?
I had gone to see the Foo Fighters a couple of months ago, not even a month ago, probably here in LA, and with my wife, and we. After the next day, I don't want to give away too much, but my wife was somewhere, and she had told she's like, oh, I went to see the little ad of it, went to see the Foo Fighters last night, and the person was like, well, fuck him, like he got my friend pregnant, and he's not owning up to it or whatever. And so my wife came home that day, and she's like,
and this was
buddy,
a couple months ago.
No, it was like a month ago.
So was the baby born at that point?
I don't think so. I think it was just born, as far as I know. I don't know how old the baby is.
And what did you think?
So my wife came home that day. She goes, "Hey, but just so you know, your
best friend.
your boy's a scumbag." And I was like, "Well, I don't know. I don't know the guy. I mean, I met him.
You guys, he did the show
times.
for a week.
Yeah, right. So we knew, and then it came out, and I sent it right to my wife. I'm like, "You were right."
Well, I heard from a very good source too.
Yeah,
that was like, oh, I think I know who it is, and it's.
But they haven't said who it is yet, right? They keep bringing up this one woman. We still don't
know who it is. There was the one woman who was like she was very tattooed, and she ran like a porn site of like alt porn, meaning just girls that had like sexy tattoos.
Yeah,
and some roommate of hers said, oh, he was always over, and she said they were just good friends, but he would pay her rent. But she's like 40, and she is didn't just have a baby, so it's not her, but it was just a history of him like being a cheater. And then but then there was a rumor, then there was talk that the girl was 20, then they're like, no, she's not. So yeah, we don't know who it is.
Yeah.
Still. eventually we'll know. I mean, I assume it was coming out and whatever it was, blackmail or who knows what, or what was going on. And, he probably sat down with his people and was like, the best way to save it is just to come forward. And that was a pretty great statement. I had a baby outside of my marriage, not like I had a baby with my girlfriend. It was like I had a baby outside of my marriage, and I'm going to be part of this baby's life. So you can't begrudge him for that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, but now
I just think he was always
he was Mr.
Like,
Nice Guy in like rock and roll world. So
that's why
now he's always a little tarnished now.
Yeah, and also when you just think there's like the one that's like the good guy, and you too,
right?
Yeah, but it's always, I feel like it's the ones that brag more about being like the great dad or the great husband,
right?
That usually isn't. Just like the person that brags about, oh my God, my husband and I have sex all the time, 4 times a day. They're the ones that are probably not having any.
Kind of like when you always say, when you win an award, I just watched the Emmys the other night, and you say, if you win the award, don't gush too much about your husband or boy or girl or a wife or whatever, because Did you see any overly gushy ones? Yes.
Okay, which one?
Billy Crudup gushed a little bit over Naomi Watts, a little bit.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that, but, we always go back to the Sandra Bullock gushing over, what was his name? The tattoo, motorcycle repair guy. Jesse James.
Jesse James, the greatest husband ever. Meanwhile, there were girls lined up
and like a week later, it all came out.
on his couch in Long Beach. Mm-hmm. at the West Coast or whatever it was called. West Coast
Choppers or whatever.
Yeah. And, oh God.
Yeah, so, but yeah, as far as...
what's a good amount? So, like, I get the award, for the Heather McDonald show.
Mm-hmm.
Emmy. Oh my God. This is just amazing. Yes, I'm going to say it. I was just a little girl from an upper middle class home with air conditioning and a pool living on the south side of Ventura Boulevard. And so if I can make it, this is all to the little girls wearing a Catholic school uniform, going to private school. You can make it too. You can drive 40 minutes into Hollywood and you can make it. And I want to thank my children, Mackenzie, Drake, and Brandon, and of course, my husband of 24 years. Thank you. And
that's good.
Which way do I go?
Yeah.
Then you have a you don't know which way to go.
Right.
And then you leave. Not overly, if it wasn't for Peter, no.
Yes. No, you don't do that.
No.
Yeah. And also, I feel like...
Let's hear yours. Let's hear Emmy's speech.
Mine would be, I wouldn't thank any people with names. I would tell some sort of nice story about how you can make it, like kind of like you just said. I would say, here's what you do.
Okay.
They actually did something interesting. I don't know if you watched the Emmys.
Yeah.
They did do, I can't believe it took them this long to think of this. They must have asked them beforehand, who would you like to thank? The boring people. What boring people do you, like the agents, assistants and stuff? Yeah. And then they chyron that.
Oh.
So if they won, let's say Jeremy Allen White from The Bear would like to thank, and they put it up on the bottom.
Like Joshua Jones at William Morris, we don't know who you are.
Right.
I don't know what you look like. That's a great idea.
So they had him just at the bottom.
Love it.
And it was like, oh, okay, while they were talking. So if you're one of his friends, like, oh, see, my name's on there.
Yeah.
And I don't feel bad that I wasn't mentioned. Anyway, Guy Branum.
Yes.
See him up there?
Yeah, I know.
No, what'd you think about his outfit?
Was he kind of casual?
He was wearing shorts. He had on like a short suit.
I'll have to get him on Juicy Scoop.
Get him on Juicy Scoop to ask. I mean, I know Guy's a big guy and pants are probably
I think
tough.
You could have found a pair, but you know what? That's okay.
But that's kind of his look. He wears the sneakers and the shorts, and
yes,
these days it's fun.
Yeah. So
yeah.
But so let's
anyway,
hear his speech.
I would just say something about everybody keep dreaming because it does come true. Look at me. My dad's an electrician. My mom worked in a dermatologist's office. So every day before we sat down to eat, I had to hear about some lancing of something off somebody.
And remind me, are you number 2 or 3 of the boys?
I'm number 3.
You're number 3 of the boys.
I don't normally take questions during my speech, but I'm sorry. Yes, what is your question? I'm number 3.
Okay, the only reason I'm saying that is because I saw this video, and I'm always obsessed with birth order because
there's 4.
I know there's 4 because I took a little class.
Yeah,
and I always remember that they said only 2 presidents in history
have
been all but two have been firstborn males in their family.
Right.
And I noticed when we were, whenever I was in a writer's room or whatever, that so many of the comedians were the youngest of larger families.
Yeah.
Myself, I remember like Tom.
Tom,
yeah. And also Chelsea was the youngest of six. And
Right.
so I was always like, oh, I think that's kind of true. And so anyway, there was a video that was going viral yesterday of like a professor or something that said, you know, the firstborn is this way, the second is this way, the third is usually a comedian.
Right.
Is the comedian, the salesperson or the comedian of the family, because they don't just have parents, but it's the siblings kind of raising them, which is true. So
Right.
you're like seeing inappropriate things. You're just sitting in a high chair, just like observing like chaos. And so I do think that kind of makes you. And then of course, an older kid. I remember one time seeing this woman. She had 3 kids at the beach, and they were like 3, 2, and a baby.
Right.
And the 3-year-old boy, she was like treating him like she was 15 because she needed his help. So she was like, gather the stuff. But I'm like, if that 3-year-old was the baby of like teenagers,
Yeah.
they would be like picking him up and like doing all
Right,
these
right.
things. Like I didn't speak till I was like 3 because I would just point to stuff and people would get it for me.
Yeah.
I'd
And
be
you're
like,
the youngest.
Yeah, I was the youngest.
Yeah.
I'm, like I just,
Right.
So anyway, they said the middle is who you want to marry. They said,
Me.
you want to marry a middle child
Okay.
because they are the negotiators. They're the easy kid. And I
Right.
think that does, as long as you are also very funny, but I'm like, you do have the nice traits of a middle child, like my sister Shannon.
Oh, well, that's nice to hear.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I appreciate
You
that.
just have to put up with it. You're not the first,
Yeah.
you're not the last. You just are
Yeah.
like, here you
know.
go. Yeah.
But I believe I'm the favorite as far as
Of
the
your
family
parents?
goes. Yeah, just because I have an IMDb page. You know, it's not that great, but it's expressive to my family. You know.
I remember the things we're talking about Chelsea stuff. I remember Chelsea after her mom passed, she had some psychic or whatever. The psychic was telling her like, your mom is with you all the time, whatever. And then her sister was like, why isn't she with me? Like I have kids and stuff.
Yeah.
Chelsea's like, who has the
Yeah.
funner life? Like, I think she'd rather be on the
That's
set of the
so
show.
funny. Yeah, right. Don't want to be with you and the 4 kids. Oh my God. Yeah.
Okay.
But you know,
yeah.
speaking of that,
Mhm.
and all this stuff we're talking about, Dave Grohl and P. Diddy and Kid. Everywhere, like just yesterday, I have to go to a lot of functions. My daughter's 5, so school
Right.
functions
Yes.
stuff. And the kids, the names are, there's a lot of Hendrix, there's a lot of Lennon, there's a lot of.
Well, your daughter's name is cool.
I know, but it's not.
Yeah.
She's not named after a Bowie. A lot of that.
Oh, after musicians and
Or
stars.
stars. So let this be a lesson.
Yes.
Dave Grohl, P. Diddy, to everybody. To not do that. Because you don't know the scumbag they could be. I mean, look at Dave Grohl. We all thought this guy's the greatest. So not only names, I'm not kidding. I was at the park with my daughter yesterday. The woman called her 3 kids, and this is not a joke. Bowie, Jagger, and Lennon. Those were the 3. And I'm not saying they did anything wrong,
Well,
but
Lennon's
you never
dead,
know.
so you're safe.
They're all dead.
And Bowie's dead. Oh, you're right. They're
They're
all
all
dead.
dead.
Okay, that's the thing. That's another thing my girlfriend told me. Never put anyone's name on your body.
Tattoos. That's the other one I was
unless
gonna
they're
say.
dead.
Yeah.
Because a dead person won't disappoint you.
I have a friend. She's a dear friend. Her kid, she named her kid Cosby after Bill Cosby.
Oh,
way
my
before we knew
God.
anything. She's like, I love Bill Cosby, comedian. Bill Cosby.
Gotta wait till they're dead.
I know. Now I
Because
know
then you'd be like, no, I'm not
Yeah.
doing it.
right. I mean, it's not a bad name, Cosby, but you can't. So beware. All I'm saying is beware.
I was named after a famous person.
Ooh.
My mom heard the name on the loudspeaker, Heather McDonald, and she said she was pregnant with me. She'd already had 4 kids. The top 3 went to relatives, named after relatives.
Yeah.
Shannon, I don't know how she found Shannon. And then so she was like, who the hell am I going to name this kid? She had the name Sean if I was a boy, but not if
Okay.
I. And she said, that's it. That's the name. And she was a 6-year-old and she was at a swim meet. And she had won.
Heather McDonald. Oh.
Yeah, Heather McDonald had won the 100 fly.
Oh.
And that was the star that my mom named me after.
Okay.
I don't know where that girl is today,
No,
but I know there's been several.
Yeah.
I've met several. Well, I see it in my Google alerts.
Oh, there's a lot of Heather
Whenever I get a
McDonald's, I would
Google
imagine.
alert, half the time it's not me.
Yeah.
It's Heather McDonald of Minnesota just got like elected, or Heather McDonald of Minnesota or died or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I get all excited, like, oh, I made page 6 today. No. And then Brandon, Peter was like, oh, I have the perfect middle name for Brandon, because we decided to name Brandon.
Yeah.
Brandon Alexander. I'm like, that's a cocktail. That's a Brandy Alexander.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And then I was like, and then his initials would be Bad. Brandon. Yeah. And so I've said no to that.
Yeah, that's a good thing you stopped that one.
Yeah, because my initial is Ham, and I turned into a ham.
Mine's CMF. Crazy motherfucker.
Oh, again, yeah. You end up living up to it.
Right.
Yeah. My sister had on her license plate Rad Mac. And my dad said as soon as she got that, she, had to live up to that name.
Oh, became the license plate?
Yeah, because the personalized license plate.
Right.
So, there you go. I want to just talk about this before we leave, because I just thought I need to get your take. This guy, Jason Pergin, he's very funny, and I follow him. And he said, they're all at the Venice Film Festival.
Yes.
And you hear about when the movie ends.
The length of the standing ovation. It's my favorite thing. Yes.
So, and I've thought about it too.
Yeah.
Like, when does someone slowly start to sit down? Like, how does it go on? I've heard 14 minutes. I've heard 17 minutes.
Right.
How are you clapping for 17? Like, remember I heard that about the whale?
Yes, the whale.
And I was like, what?
And so it's the only, for whatever reason, the Venice Film Festival seems to be the only one that times these standing ovations. Last night, 8-minute standing ovation for The Joker Part 2 and this movie.
You know what I'm going to say? If you wonder why do people go along with freak-offs and not speaking up and not protecting people in Hollywood, it's because it's the same people that will stand there for 17 minutes and not go, I'm good. I'm going to sit down. Right. My hands hurt. Or I'm going to walk out and go to the bathroom.
So
I'm not doing this anymore. Nobody
also
speaks up in Hollywood.
Yeah. When does, except for
or
you.
Sits down.
When does standing ovation become just walking out? Like, I'm not standing ovation. I'm exiting the theater. The movie's over.
Right. I don't know. Like, I hear that and I'm like, I actually never want to go to a film festival.
Never. Could you imagine sitting there applauding for, I've seen all the great movies, you name it. Goodfellas, I didn't stand up for 12 minutes and applaud. It's just, and then of course the movies come out and you're like, that's the one that they stood up for 12 minutes?
I know.
Piece of shit. I watched that movie Marilyn. I remember a couple of years ago when that came out. I had a story
about her. The girl, Marilyn Monroe. Tell me about it, because I remember that got such
13-minute standing ovation. I watched that movie. I was like, oh my God. I think they were just trying to get out of the theater. It was such a shitty movie.
It was so shitty?
Yeah.
And she got like an Oscar. Wait, where is it? Where is that girl?
Oscar, but she was nominated. Yeah, she's a very pretty girl.
There she is. Yeah. Her name's Ana de Armas. And this is the People article. This is exactly how it's read. Ana de Armas opens up about why she left LA to live off the grid in rural Vermont. So I'm imagining her in like a fucking treehouse, like naked and alone.
Right.
And I'm like, how did she turn into such a weird hippie? I read the article. It's a $7 million home in rural Vermont that features 6 bedrooms and 8 bathrooms. But she just felt, there was just too much in Hollywood. She just needed to get away. And I'm like, you know what? I'm in Hollywood. And when I'm sitting in my backyard, nobody's knocking on my door.
Right.
Like, I have greenery and a pool. Yeah. Why do you have to go to Vermont or Wyoming? I just need to get away.
She needed a little cocoon, it says.
She met a really rich guy who had a house.
Well, she's a gorgeous woman. Have you noticed that People magazine has gotten very dark? You ever go over to they have like a crime section?
Oh, they always do the crime stuff.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They've had that a long time.
Really?
Yeah.
I recently been looking at it for like topics and stuff, and I was like, oh my God, children bitten by rats. I was like, I usually have to go on there and see what Suzanne Summers eats to stay healthy.
They've realized like they had to go on a different route, but they've always like kind of featured like big crime things. I'm going to end on this story because I need to talk to you about it, being that you're a dad.
Yes.
TikTok's Matt and Abby Howard face criticism for leaving their 1- and 2-year-old sons alone in a room during a dinner on a cruise. Do you know the story? Well,
I do.
Let me just explain to the people. I don't know who this cute couple is, but they have amassed millions of followers. Everyone loves seeing them exploit their cute babies and whatever. They went on a cruise, and I guess they said, we're finally enjoying a meal or something. And somehow these sleuths figured out, where are your kids? Then they came back and said, we have these baby tents or something that we left in the room with the monitors, and we had the monitors.
Yeah.
But there was someone watching them. So then other people that are mothers are like, okay, here's the thing. No, you didn't have someone watching them, because if you had someone watching them, you would say that. We have the girl from the baby class watching them. We had my aunt watching them. And if the aunt was watching them, she would have the baby monitor.
Right.
Like if they were sleeping in a section, a different part of the room, she would have the baby monitor, make sure that if they make a noise, it's not because they're wrapped up in their blanket and they can't breathe, just that they're like settling. Okay.
Yeah.
So, of course, I can't, are they so young and dumb that they didn't read the People article 12 years ago or whatever, 15, about Madeline, cute Madeline, which is the famous horrible story of a English couple, I think visiting some place in Spain, who left their 4-year-old daughter and their 2-year-old twins in the room and went down like a half a block
you could
in
still
the resort.
See the room.
Yes,
from where they were
and then they would enjoy adult dinner, wine and stuff. And one would go back, and they'd done it several nights prior to this one.
Yes.
Go back, check on the babies, come back, have another glass of wine. They went back, and the girl was gone, the 4-year-old. She's never, ever been found.
Madeline McCann.
And I think to my generation, because when that happened, I had kids around that age.
Yeah.
Not that I would ever think of doing that.
Okay.
But that is why you don't do it.
Okay.
And but also I don't think.
Wait a minute. You never thought about it?
Have I ever thought? No, I've never thought about it. No.
Because my wife and I, if it weren't for Madeline McCann, we would do it every weekend.
I can see. I'm thinking that sometimes
the only reason we don't do it is because of that story. And we're sometimes we're in a hotel and Beck gets asleep. We're like, she's not waking up. It's right down the hall. We never do it.
You never do it. But the reason why you can't do it is because there could be a fire, there could be an earthquake, there could be, besides a stranger coming in.
Right.
And of course, in a cruise ship, everybody has access to your room that works there.
Right.
So you don't know what could happen.
Yeah.
And, but I honestly believe so many times I take for granted that people know news stories that are like I think they're my contemporary, but they're really like a 25-year-old.
Yeah.
And, like I have this great girl. She does my nails when I love talking to her. And we always talk, I'm like, what are you watching? And she goes, I watched this thing about this guy. And I'm like, Scott Peterson? And I realized, why would she know about Scott Peterson and Lacey? She's,
I know.
A young girl. And she's like, so do you think he did it or not? I'm like, oh, sit back, girl. Like, I know every little thing. So I'm like, yeah, maybe people need to be re-educated about like why you don't do something, baby monitor or not. There was that other couple that got caught for the baby monitor thing. They were in New York.
He had a heart attack. He
had a heart attack, and that's when they realized that she had left the kids alone.
He was like a correspondent on one of the morning shows.
Yeah, and I think I remember I had a friend who told us her kid's in college now. This is a long time ago. And she was like, and she did stay married to her husband. And she goes, I'm so mad at my husband. I'm like, what? She goes, after leaving him with the daughter all day, who was like a baby, she came home. And this is before Uber Eats and shit. Mm-hmm. And she saw like a bag from like Tito's taco stand or whatever, which was down the street from their house. And she goes, when did you get the taco? And he goes, oh, I just ran down and got it like 2:00. And she goes, and you packed up the baby and everything for a taco? He's like, no, she was sleeping. And she was like so furious, and she told us, and we were all like, and that's when I realized that, no offense, fathers just do not think like mothers. They just don't have all the genes. Some of them don't.
No,
he's a wonderful father. He's a wonderful husband. He did not think like there could be an earthquake. There could be a fire.
Yeah.
It was, he was gone from the house for literally 7 minutes.
Right.
Like what could possibly happen? He could get a car accident on the way home. Like you don't know. And so it's just those kind of things that you just have to, always remember not to do.
It's a good lesson. I mean,
I saw this other video.
I'm not saying we've done it.
I saw this other video that was like, this is why moms and dads are different. So it's like a Ring camera, and it's like a kind of like a van or a truck or whatever. And there's a little baby. It's like maybe like 1. It can walk and crawl. And the dad's standing in front of it, and the baby's like on the hood.
Yeah.
And he's just like, hee. It's like right in the middle. So it can't like roll off with it. And then all of a sudden it just starts crawling up and now it's on the roof. And he goes, oh my God. So he goes around the side and tries to get the baby to come to him on the roof. And the baby's like, ha, 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 and goes down. I mean, it's going down. and you see the mother who must have been in the house come, get on the car, grab the child, and get him down. And it was like, that's why sometimes people just have to be educated. You do not ever expect that someone is going to think about these things without being told. Yeah,
I agree. I'm a pretty hands-on dad. I mean,
you're an excellent dad. I'm not worried about you.
I'm not an excellent dad. People say I'm an excellent dad, but I don't know the alternative. I have to be. There's no other way. Like if I don't take her to school, she's standing on the sidewalk, So it's like when people say you're a great dad, I'm like, I just have to be, because somebody's got to pick her up. Yeah. And it's me.
And if you are an active dad, you'll always get so much credit. I remember they would always say that, about Peter, because I'd be working and they'd be like, oh my God, your husband is the greatest. He was here and he picked up the kids. And I'm like, yeah. And then I would get there and they'd be like, what are you doing here?
That's what I know.
What are you doing here?
My wife's just like, they all look at me with like, where have you been?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I'm they love me over there.
Oh my gosh, Chrissy Poo. Besides joining
we have our dates. Yeah, that's exciting.
Where else?
I had so much fun on our last dates that we did.
We really did.
Those were great.
And we're going to have even more fun now. And you guys go to heathermcdonald.net for all those dates. But where can they find Chris?
You can find me in Cincinnati, September 25th, the Funny Bone in Cincinnati. Then Columbus, Ohio. I'm going through the Ohios. Columbus eating cats and dogs. And isn't that in Ohio? That did not happen.
They're eating the cats.
They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the from the people. They take them.
They're eating the pets in the home.
They're eating.
I have to say, and I don't do politics, but the memes with that.
And the music. They're making songs out of it.
And one of the cutest ones that I must have sent to 12 people, I guess I forgot to send it to you, is a little standing baby. And she has a black lab. And the dog's just laying there used to the kid just playing with it.
Yeah.
And the baby's eating the dog's ear. And then you just hear that voiceover. They're eating the dogs. And it's so cute. I can't even go on.
I'll be in Columbus, Ohio. Okay. That's the 26th of September. And then Appleton, Wisconsin, Skyline Comedy Club, 27th and 28th. Come on down. Roar Comedy Club in Springfield, Massachusetts. Franjola.fun has everything. So many more dates. A ton of dates. Minneapolis
and of course, everyone loves Cover to Cover, your podcast.
Cover to Cover is the podcast. Come on over.
And then, but get your tickets, you guys, because really, I am close to selling out our dates with Chris, and I don't want to hear you cry. I don't know what the world is going to be like in a year.
Ask everyone who came to the last shows we did together.
Yes.
I mean, I'm out there taking the pictures. You take the pictures. I'm down there with the people.
We had so much fun, and it's going to be that much more fun.
Yeah.
So I love you, Chris.
I love you back.
Thank you. Bye.